Hi everyone, Piet and Grade here, and today we want to talk to you about breakfast, whether you should have breakfast or not. So you've probably heard of people who do intermittent fasting and they skip breakfast, and sometimes you also hear it promoted that in order for you to lose weight or to get really healthy, it's good to skip breakfast. And then other people say you should always have breakfast and never skip your breakfast. So there's a lot of confusion about breakfast, and today we want to just talk about it a little bit and share with you what we have figured out over the years working with many clients since the year 2000, which is nearly 25 years. So the key thing about breakfast is that doesn't really matter what time you have breakfast, right? Breakfast is short for breaking the fast. So whatever, it is important what you eat for breakfast, because this sets the day for you. It creates the hormones that you release in your body. It sets the stage for your microbiome, your healthy gut bacteria, your moods, and also hunger cravings or not. So depending on the breakfast you eat, you're going to be hungry the rest of the day, or of course if you eat the right breakfast, you're not going to have hunger cravings.
It has been proven also that people who do have periods of hunger live longer.
That's right. If you starve yourself, there are lots of health benefits of intermittent fasting. That's without question. So,
so if you want better focus, better energy, clarity of mind, and
recover from illnesses,
nice healthy skin, and a good digestion, intermittent fasting is good. And to get your energy from the other fuel source that normally our food industry has changed so much over the last, how many years?
80 years. But
80 years, or 80 to 100 years. We were introduced to cereals for breakfast, bread, and agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
And we can make 10 times the amount of energy from fat than we can from sugars. So, and back when my grandparents lived on the farm, they ate what they made themselves, and they would have had leftovers for breakfast of the meal before, the night before, and they would have eaten. I can remember coming home from school and scraping the fat from lamb chops out of the pan and putting it on nice wholemeal bread. But the bread part wasn't so good, but the fat part was. It was one of the best things to really give energy. And then we need some protein as building blocks for new cells. And what else? Oh, healthy gut bacteria. Very important. And those healthy gut bacteria are extremely important, and scientists are still finding out what they're doing for us. They've isolated 400 different enzymes that they produce, and
which is totally amazing.
And they also dictate weight loss, weight gain, and 80% of our immune system belong to them, and 90% of our good happy hormones are produced in a nice healthy gut full of good gut bacteria. So it's extremely important to replenish those on a daily basis. Even if you're feeling nice and healthy, we can benefit from replenishing those.
So just to put it in a nutshell, 200 years ago, there were no such thing as cereals that didn't exist. People often didn't eat as much bread either, by the way. And like Peter said, so they often would have leftovers for breakfast. And so people were probably more starved in a sense than they are now. But they also were a lot healthier, right? Because heart disease, cancer and all the rest has really, wasn't virtually unheard of in the early 1900s. So now we're only 120 years further down the line, and 1 in 3 of us will experience cancer. I think it's 1 or 2 will has is going to develop heart disease. In America, 80% of people have metabolic disorder, which is probably the same in Australia. So this can all be reversed, by the way. But actually, I'll just remember a documentary we saw recently, because Peter and I are always researching, and apparently the sugar intake in Australia is going down, which is amazing that people are eating less sugar
and carbohydrates,
but they are still having way too much vegetable oil. So vegetable oil apparently is like the killer number one.
Yeah,
when I talk about vegetable oil, it's like the canola oils, all the yellow oils that you see in the plastic see-through bottles on the supermarket shelf. Yeah, sorry. And they create inflammation, they cause your cells to stick together, and lots of other things.
We'll share that YouTube video on the article so you can watch it yourself. It's extremely important to watch, really. But we can see, it's been documented, that when the world changed to seed-based oils instead of animal fats for cooking and consumption, India and Sri Lanka predominantly used ghee, which is clarified butter, and coconut oil as the fats, their fats that they use. And they were convinced that saturated fats were bad for them, the same as the whole world, and changed to runny seed-based vegetable oils. And you can see at exactly the same time the trajectory of all sorts of disease. Heart disease, cancer, obesity, and if you watch this YouTube from Dr. Chris Knob, it's
undeniable.
It's undeniable.
Statistics.
You'll be convinced to steer clear of vegetable oils wherever possible.
But they're always like when you go out for a meal, like everyone cooks in it, and it's also in all foods. So like it's also in breakfast bars and breakfast cereals. It's pretty much in all the biscuits,
all processed foods. You look at the ingredients; it'll have vegetable oil there.
Yeah,
and they are hormone disruptors. They disrupt your hormones as well, and they
kill your gut bacteria.
They are one of the most
toxic
common thing that causes chronic disease.
It's also an immune suppressant, and you can spray it or infect on the weeds in your garden, they'll die. So it's actually also sold as a weed killer, and it's just the same plant-based oils. In case you didn't know that, you can check it out in the supermarket shelf, or actually in where do you get your weed killer from? I guess from the garden centres.
Slasher is an organic weed killer, and the main ingredient is a vegetable oil.
Which is found, and we're talking about breakfast, in many of the breakfast products, okay? So you need to be super careful because everyone has breakfast. This sets the tone for your day and has a massive influence on your health. So store-bought yogurts, and people also send those little yogurts with their kids to school. If you buy those little fruit yogurts, they have a tablespoon of sugar in them, so that's more sugar than Coke. Very detrimental for the kids.
And if they still taste sweet, then there's no bacteria that are feeding on the sugars. So they probably haven't got any probiotic value at all.
Because they've also been pasteurized and all the rest. So just think of cereals as cereal killers. Mother Nature didn't invent those cereals. They were invented by the global industrial food complex, which is an arm of the military and the war complex. It's all created by the same industry. And
the next breakfast food is bread, really. I grew up on toast and honey, rolled oats, toast and honey.
Yeah, lucky you're still alive.
And I nearly fell off my chair when I was told that our bodies can convert the flour out of one slice of bread to 6 teaspoonfuls of sugar. But when I grew up, I was very active on the farm and I used up most of my energy.
Well, and to put it in perspective, we should never have more than 4 teaspoons spread out over the whole day. Yeah. So one piece of bread is already 6 teaspoons. That doesn't include what you put on it, like jam, and then if you have a banana, that goes another 9 teaspoons. So actually, if you take all the sugar out of all the food that you consume over the course of the day, we eat close to 30 teaspoons of sugar per day, when the body can really only handle 4 teaspoons.
And yeah, the bread, back in when I was growing up, the Tasmanian government actually got bakers to put iodine in bread, because you look on the Tasmanian government health website, every Tasmanian by rights needs to supplement with iodine, and I'd say all of Australia. But the bakers must have thought it was a mould inhibitor, and they changed it to bromide.
Well, I reckon that was also government induced.
Well,
and bromide is a toxic substance.
It disrupts all your hormones as well.
Belongs to the same family as iodine, doesn't it? And
my Grada's brother grows flowers, and it was banned for him to use methyl bromide as a sterilizer for the soil, and yet strawberry growers can use it.
But flower growers can't.
Flower growers can't.
Because it's too toxic.
Because it rots your brain.
I know, it's scary.
But
that's in bread.
The iodine, we do need to supplement with that every day as well, according to Tasmanian government health website.
So it's all a little bit like pessimistic, isn't it? So what can you eat for breakfast? Anyway, I've included it all in the article. Please skim over the article and share it with your loved ones, because lots of people think they're doing the right thing and spending all their money on supposedly healthy breakfasts, when they are really setting you up for a lot of trouble during the day. So leftovers are good. So let's go back to 200 years ago. People often say, well, what can I eat then? Or you can eat eggs and bacon, leftovers from the night before, or cook some extra. If people say, well, but I never have any leftovers, just cook some extra tea and warm it up in the morning, and put lots of good fats in it, like butter or coconut oil. Another
good way to get lots of good fats and oils into your system is via a good healthy smoothie.
Yes.
So full cream yogurt, you can add more cream, coconut oil, and put in some good probiotics.
The Purple House smoothie. The Purple House smoothie, you probably already know of it. It's been around for a long, long time. It's basically since 2010 when we came up with the recipe.
You can download.
We've got a free ebook.
Free ebook off our website.
I'll put the link in, and it tells you exactly how good it is, right? It goes into all the 5 reasons, explains how it works, and it's got the recipe as well. It's really, really good. So it's free. You can go and download it, and then
if I make it for myself, it doesn't have cream in the recipe, but I put as much cream as I do coconut oil.
Yeah, and so this will really help your skin, your hair, your everything starts to change. We've had people who were, on chemotherapy, and when we looked at their blood under a microscope, like at a little drop of blood, you could see how much damage was done to the body, and so they went on to the Purple House smoothie, and so they were able to recover so much quicker. Even I remember there was a lovely old client who needed blood transfusions because she was at that point that her body was so destroyed, she needed blood transfusions every week, and she started to take the Purple House smoothie, and so she was able to have fewer and fewer blood transfusions. So we've seen really so many miracles because the body can just restore itself. It doesn't matter how bad, at what point in your life you start, everyone benefits from it. Because
the vital all-in-one powder that we recommend people put in is a multi-nutrient that's easily absorbed by your body.
And it tastes good too, so and it's got lots of enzymes and good bacteria and all there, so it's like an all-in-one, like it says. And then the smoothie, it's got nice healthy fats, so it helps your body to feel energized and restored. And I just want to remind you again that every cell in your body, every single cell, has a membrane that is made out of good fats, right? So it's like little blobs of and so that's why we need a lot more healthy fats than you could ever imagine. Everyone should be less concerned about carbohydrates or even proteins, and really focus on the good fats.
Yeah, we listened to a Russian scientist give a lecture one time online, and she claims that we're about 70% fat, our bodies, 70%, and quite a lot of that is saturated fat.
And it's mostly in your brain too,
and cholesterol, so we need lots of it.
Yeah, and that really restores your body. So that's how our ancestors lived for as long as they did, if they didn't have accidents, I guess.
If I have a glass full of the smoothie for breakfast, I can go without eating any more food, just drink water, for until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, from 7:30. And I can be doing, hard physical work.
I know, that's amazing, isn't it?
The fats give 10 times the amount of energy than sugars do.
And it's just really good to know that your body's getting all the nutrients, because I hate that feeling that you eat food but you kind of have these lingering doubts in the back of your mind. Am I doing the right thing or not? I know that this is not really benefiting me, when actually now I feel so good every day because I know my body gets exactly what it needs, and I can, be naughty sometimes and eat some other things as well, but that doesn't matter because I know foundationally my body is getting what it needs every single day, which is actually really super important, because you only have one body. And our most productive years, by the way, are between 60 and 70. I found that out this year, which is so exciting. And the second most productive years...
We're in the middle.
So the second most productive years of people's lives is between 70 and 80. And the third most productive era is between 50 and 60. So really the best is still ahead for everyone. And many people our age, so I'm 62... And Peter is 66 today. Happy birthday, Peter. We feel so happy and contented. This is the sort of feeling that you're told you should feel like when you're 20 and 30 and even in your 40s. But most people are just too busy. You're too busy like getting ahead, and too busy. Life just bombards you with everything. So truly the best is yet to come. As long as you keep your body healthy, and thankfully our body does like to be healthy, like it's always working for us.
It's aimed at health, our body, if we give it the things it needs to get there.
And it's not hard to give it, so we've created all these shortcuts, which are in the article. Download the Purple House Smoothie book. If you get stuck or you feel like part of your body isn't working, listen to your intuition and do come to us for a session.
Yeah, if you want to have a look at your own live and dried blood, come and book in, and I can tell if you're having digestive issues, I certainly can get that
to the bottom of it.
To the bottom of it to turn it around for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Peter is an expert in that. He can tell you exactly what your cells are doing, so if your cells are producing enough energy or not. So that's really great. Thank you everyone for listening, and hope you have really a delicious breakfast tomorrow morning and every morning of your life. I really enjoy your food. I'm so grateful that you are in our community, and looking forward to being with you next week.
Have a good week.
Bye for now.
Bye.